everyone, and welcome back to Art-Cher. Today I'm going to show you some name design doodles, and I'm going to give a shout out to some of my new friends out there by drawing their names in the design. So today is all about using Sharpies or pens or some sort of permanent ink. Okay, I'm going to start with a couple names I have on the list here. So I'm just going to try to take up this whole paper and start my letters. And any way that I wanted to start my letters, I can do some bubbles. I like to do bubbly letters. I can fill them in. You know, there's a lot of different things that you can do when you're designing letters. Here's my first one. Now, when you're doing a whole bunch of name designs, what I thought that would be really cool is a family tree, where if you've ever heard of a Wordle, family trees would be very cool with this type of thing where you put everybody's name in it. And I like to start with a couple that are big letters like this. Kira and Jude. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to go upside down for this one, I think. There we have Patrick. And I'm going to go with a, let's see. Go this way. Tyler. Let's do a nice big S right here. This one is Scarlet. Very cool name. Okay, I have another K. So I'm gonna put the K a different way. We are going to go with another T. Well, let's go with Trent. Okay, let's go with Calissa. Another K name, so that one we're gonna go. Let's try this. And I'm gonna do, let's see. Okay, right into here. Okay. And here's a nice big M for my new friend Madison. And I have Oliver. I've got another T for Tanner. Actually, I'm going to go this way. All right. And we have a nice big C for Cody. So I do have a question for everybody. When I draw this, I'm starting right out with the Sharpie and there's no pencil. How many of you are afraid to start with a permanent marker or pen, whatever. Comment below. Let's see if we can do some of these exercises and get you guys a little braver. So make sure you comment below. And my last one is Davis. Now I want this to be, let me see, I gotta get this so that I have a good composition on here. And I think I'm gonna go this way, and I'll get this big D in here. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to put some of these nice designs in through here. Okay, so, when we use permanent marker or we use pen, it's the idea of if you mess up, what am I going to do about it? I can't erase it. I can't really get rid of it. Well, when you're doing these type of drawings, these type of doodly drawings, and they're just design, if you do something wrong that you feel like is wrong, all you really have to do is fill it in. So you can fill, you can, make it into something else. You can go over it until you know what to do with it. So, don't really be too concerned about actually messing up on it. I used to be that way too, but I really love drawing in ballpoint pen. Actually is one of my favorite mediums. I really like the way it comes out. I like when other people draw on it as well. It's nice to draw on a sketchbook because you give yourself a different medium that doesn't smudge. So now I'm just kind of going through and I'm finding little different spaces that I can do some different pattern designs in. So, you got to think of like what kind of patterns would go in between. Okay, some kind of fun things. I want to be careful about making sure that the names can stand out. So I could do the names with a color. I could just kind of fill in the names. So it's like you don't want to overly do your patterns and have your names not stand out. But the thing is, like I said, these names could be colored in or they can be filled in. So it's almost like one or the other. You could fill in the background space that I'm putting in with this right now, or you can do the letters if you have these bubble letters. And it's really good to have some things in your mind as far as patterning. I like to do a lot of doodling, so I kind of think of different patterns that I've done in the past, and I do have another video that you can watch. I'll put it up on this link and you can go in there and you can check out some of those doodly designs. So it's basically just any kind of pattern. Just think of just any kind of lines, any kind of shapes. So like in between here I go, I'll just do some sort of shape. And I love little triangles, little blocks or boxes. I like when they actually go off of the page. They're not all in that actual center part. So I might have like a half of a one that kind of connects to the corner of a letter or something like that. Think of adding little something in it. So if you did squares here or triangles like I'm doing, you could fill in the little square, maybe with a couple lines. The triangles are a little small for that. So maybe even with the triangles, I could do some dots in between or something like that. So it just changes up the design a little bit. And then I'm going to trail these off a little bit. I like the edge to be just kind of fading out. So we'll have like an interesting composition on this entire paper. So I'll get a little further apart with those, like they're kind of breaking through, and then they come in and they get a little tighter. Maybe I'll get a little tighter in some of these areas now that I kind of know what I'm doing, because I don't know what I'm doing when I first start. So I just kind of know that I'm going to put some patterns, and I think of lines, space, shape, color, texture, and I think of like, how can I do some textures? How can I like do some really cool shapes? Let's see, let's do something in here, and I'm going to show you just little swirls. Okay, so right around this K, I'm going to do my little swirlies. They're gonna look like little sixes actually, because they're so small. And that's another thing, like you can think about doing little numbers, and they're gonna look like a little pattern, because everything is a little drawing. Numbers are a little drawing. Letters are drawn. Like these we just drew. You know, this is just a fun little way to kind of start using a pen and getting used to just using a pen without an initial pencil drawing. So make sure you're doing that comment below. Tell me if you are a little nervous to do this with just pen. Tell me if you really like to do just pen, if you're one of those people who like to draw with pen a lot, which is pretty cool too. Now I'm going to go in with my thicker Sharpie, and I'm going to fill in some things. So this is the part where you want to balance your fills. So whatever you're doing, you want to balance it somewhere else so it doesn't look lopsided. Think of a scale. You know, you don't want to have too much on one side or too much on the other side. If there's just a little bit on another side, though, that works. Doesn't have to be completely equal, but you do want to balance it. So it really can go any single way that you put it. I'm gonna go and put some drippy things. There's different things that you can do with this, and it's a fun project to do, like family trees, or you know, a bunch of your friends together, anything that kind of, you know, makes sense as far as a bunch of names together. But you don't have to do names either. Just remember, it can be a pattern though. Any kind of number, letter, anything like that can actually be a pattern when you are working on these type of drawings. And look, if you do something wrong, right now I'm filling in some things, so you know, and it doesn't have to be a complete fill. And I do like to end off in some kind of cool cool composition like on the outside. And I think it kind of, you know, it finishes it off so that it has some sort of interesting edge to it. Okay, so make sure you drop me a little note and let me know if you're one of those brave ones that can use Sharpie all the time and not use your pencil before you start initial drawing, or if you're one of those who gets a little bit nervous and you need a little practice. This is a great exercise for you, so it's a good thing to try. But I would love to hear from you, and I would love it if you dropped me a subscribe, and you'll see the new videos that come up. And good luck on it. Have fun. Bye.